What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for the Manchester City Southampton emphatic win match analysis. So we're going to crack on with this video. So Manchester City went with a strong side. I wasn't expecting it to be so strong. I was expecting a little bit of squad rotation. It does suggest to me that Pep Guardiola, though, is taking the Premier League very seriously. We've got a Champions League game on Wednesday. We've got the Manchester Derby in the Premier League on Sunday. Two very big games. I was expected to have a bit of rotation in this game, but none of it. Pep ended up going with an extremely strong side here. So he's taking it very seriously, sensing an opportunity with Liverpool dropping points that we could well put some clear daylight between us and the chasing pack, which is what happened. For Southampton, they had Hoedt back in the middle for them, so they've got a little bit more defensive cover, which didn't really work, and we're going to have a look why. So 6 minutes in, Sane put a low quick cross in. It was unluckily turned into his own net by Hoedt. I hope that's how you say his name. I don't know how you say his name, but it got us off to the perfect start, sent us 1-0 up, and Southampton from there were really struggling. When you're going away to Manchester City, you can't afford after 6 minutes to be putting a ball into your own net, because you're always going to be struggling, particularly when you're struggling to find goals too. 12 minutes in, it gets worse. Raheem Sterling's freed up by Bernardo Silva. He ends up putting a low ball to find Sergio Aguero, who slides it into the net, giving Southampton all kinds of headaches. Man City running riot, going 2-0 up. Southampton players, they weren't really putting in a challenge on Raheem Sterling. They were showing him a lot of respect. However, when you're going up against quality like Bernardo Silva, David Silva, Raheem Sterling, Leroy Sane, Sergio Aguero, who was on the pitch, you're always going to struggle. Every single Premier League team is going to struggle against that attack, and when you're allowing us space, you are always going to struggle. It's a difficult away match, so you're always going to struggle. So Southampton, they can take confidence from the fact that a lot of teams are going to go to the Etihad. Some might get trounced, some might not. But, you know, 9 times out of 10, most teams don't normally come away from the Etihad with anything. So their Premier League survival, which is what they're aiming for, isn't going to be decided on this game. 18 minutes in, gets better for us. Raheem Sterling chips in. It's a cross that isn't really dealt with. Ends up going to the left-hand side of the box. About 8 to 10 yards out. For some reason, David Silva's in acres of space, manages to control it, go on the half volley and smash it into the roof of the net. 18 minutes in, game, set and match. The game is won from there. A lovely finish. Just dubious on Southampton's defending for that. Why they're allowing to play like David Silva that much space in their box is beyond me. 29 minutes in though, they managed to build themselves a pathway back into the game. Danny Ings was sent free from Manchester City's high line. He ends up rounding Ederson. Ederson ends up bringing him down. Penalties given, and it gives them the perfect opportunity to finally score a goal. The first goal, I think, in 6 Premier League games. Danny Ings waits for Ederson to commit, sends Ederson the wrong way, ends up making it 3-1 after 30 minutes. And with 15 minutes to go until half time, Southampton will fancy if they can go in at 3-1 down after being 3-0 down after 18 minutes. They know that they could then work hard and make something happen in the second half, particularly if we get a goal in the first 10 or 15 minutes. Give us something to think about. That was all over though in the second minute of added time in the first half. Cedric Suarez, poor defending. Aguero puts him under pressure. I'm not too sure if it was a free kick or not. If we conceded that, I'd probably say that it was a free kick, but as we've scored it, I'm obviously going to say that it wasn't. Anyway, Aguero puts him under pressure, squares it across. Raheem Sterling's there to end up sealing the match 4-1. Raheem Sterling played superbly in this game and really deserved his goal, and the match was over by half-time. It was outstanding going forward. It was very clinical. No Premier League team would be able to cope with us when we're in that mood. David Silva, Raheem Sterling, 2 standout players, making absolutely everything happen in the middle and up front. Southampton struggling. Man City were finding too much space. We were just too quick, too agile, too skillful for them to be able to deal with, and they ended up just backing off. And then all of a sudden we ended up getting the rewards with us being clinical. I was disappointed that we conceded, but there we go. I'm sure imagine Southampton are more disappointed that they conceded such a soft goal, a couple of soft goals there in the first half that were really preventable. Into the second half, 67 minutes in, it ended up going on the counter-attack. Aguero ends up feeding in Raheem Sterling. He goes low with a low, powerful effort from a difficult angle, I'll add. Very good goal. Ends up making it 5-1, and Raheem Sterling has a brace and a chance. If he can get his head on one of the crosses that we're putting in, he might be able to get the perfect hat-trick of a right foot, left foot and header. In the 91st minute, it was into the first minute of added time, Leroy Sane ends up completing the routine though, ended up making it 6-1 with a low left foot effort in injury time. Seals the deal. absolutely perfect. A perfect win for us. Southampton were a lot better defensively second half, but they still struggled to cope with Man City's numbers and the quality that we had. But when you're 3-0 down after 18 minutes, you're always going to struggle against the champions, a team that's capable of ripping any team in Europe to shreds when they're in the mood, particularly at the Etihad. Southampton, they're in a scrap for Premier League survival. Like I said, their Premier League survival isn't going to be decided in an away match at Manchester City. It's going to be decided against teams like Newcastle, that they drew 0-0 with, I think it was last weekend. They're going to be decided against teams like Fulham and Huddersfield. These are games where they can't afford to be handing them points. They need to be scoring goals and picking up wins. For Manchester City, we just carry on as normal. We end up just blitzing everyone aside. We've ended up going 2 points clear. Pep's put out a strong side, so we could go 2 points clear. We have. I imagine this rotation will probably come in the midweek game against Shakhtar. It'll be interesting to see how much rotation that there is in that game, but because we've gone 2 points clear in the Premier League now, it gives us clear daylight between us and the rest of the team. Chelsea have ended up sneaking into second too, capitalising on Liverpool making or dropping points and making mistakes. So there we go. That's where we stand. We're just going to check the stats down so we can have a quick look at some judgments that we can make from there. I imagine the possession stats were a lot higher in the first half of Manchester City. Overall, we ended up having 67% possession. Southampton ended up having 32% possession, which isn't bad for an away side that's struggling in the Premier League coming to the Etihad. I'm used to seeing teams having between something like 17, 18% to maybe 30%. So to get over 30%, it's pretty decent. City ended up having 18 shots, 8 on target. Southampton had 12 shots, 6 on target. Respectable. Was having some efforts that were trying to make things happen. I understand that Mark Hughes has tried to come here, tried to score goals because Southampton struggled to score goals. It'd have probably been easier for them to come here and put 11 men behind the ball and try and defend out a 0-0. They haven't done that, so I have respect for that. It's very difficult. Even when you want to park a bus to keep us out, it is very difficult, and your game plan goes out the window. And if they were coming here to defend 6 minutes and you're going behind off an own goal, you're going to be struggling. For passes, we end up having 730 passes, 91 pass completion rate. We've come to expect that from us. Southampton ended up having a respectable 339 passes at just under 80% pass completion rate, which is decent. They haven't played bad in this game. It's just we've been excellent. That's what it's come down to. We've ended up having more key passes. We've created more clear-cut chances. We've made more dribbles. We've had the same amount of corners, though. They've ended up putting more crosses into the box. I'm expecting Man City to be dominating the headed clearances, which we have. But in terms of defensive stats, Southampton's ended up making more tackles than us, made more interceptions. They've had more blocks. They've cleared more. They ended up having the same amount of aerial duels, which we were better than, but they put more balls in, so you'd come to expect that. And in terms of saves, Ederson's ended up making more saves than what Southampton's McCarthy has, which is surprising considering the scoreline. So yeah, there we go. Pretty interesting. I think that for Southampton, ways for them to improve. I feel like if they can get the strikers involved a little bit more, have a little bit more clinicalness about them, I think they'll be okay. I think they're going to be struggling for the Premier League to be able to stay up. That doesn't mean I think they're going to go down, though. I think there's a lot of teams down there that not necessarily are worse than Southampton. I just feel like there's a lot of sides down there in the Premier League that haven't really got the quality to be able to match the top teams, and so there's a lot of level teams that are on the same calibre, if you get where I'm coming from. And so it's a game between these sides that will decide who stays up and who ends up going down. For Manchester City, David Silva is absolutely awesome. I love him to bits. But Raheem Sterling gets my man of the match, getting a brace. Had a fantastic game. One of his best games for Manchester City this season, in my opinion. Absolutely fantastic. He just seems to be getting better and better and better. Sergio Aguero, keeping fit, scoring goals, doing what he does. It's brilliant to see. Fernandinho, a forgotten man really in this game. Everywhere, covering. Did absolutely fantastic. Bernardo Silva helping us not feel the Kevin De Bruyne injury too much by seeing the two Silvas in the middle. We didn't end up keeping the clean sheet. That doesn't matter. Ederson's got a chance in the next game to keep a clean sheet and see how many games he can go with keeping a clean sheet. I imagine he'd be disappointed that he brought down the man not got the ball, but there we go. We move on. One area to improve on, though, I feel like is for Benjamin Mendy. He looks a little bit confused as to when he needed to pass the ball, when he needed to go forward, when he needed to defend, when he needed to go central, when he needed to release the ball, and what he needed to do off the ball. I'm hoping that we're going to be working hard on Benjamin Mendy to see him improve. We saw it game after game after game last season with Kyle Walker, where he got better and better and better. I'm hoping we're going to see the same with Mendy. He's had an injury, I fully understand that, and it's hard coming back into the swing of things and playing game after game after game. However, wing-backs are so important to Manchester City and Pep's system. We need Mendy to be switched on, so hopefully we'll see more performances like he did against Liverpool, where he was under clear instructions to stick with Mo Salah and see him out of the game, which he did so well. And then against other teams, he needs to know when to go forward. Benjamin Mendy's biggest asset is going forward and putting good crosses in. However, in the game against Southampton, the crosses that he was putting in, they weren't bad, they just weren't great. And he seemed a little bit confused. He lost the ball a couple of times. Southampton ended up launching attacks from him losing them balls. So I'm hoping that we can work on that. Something for him to improve on, something for us to improve on. I'm just a little bit fearful if we don't end up improving on that. As the season goes on, teams might start to exploit that. So hopefully we can nip that in the bud very soon and we can have more performances from Mendy like he did against Liverpool and like we saw at the beginning of the season, where he was getting forward and getting assist after assist after assist, which at the end of the day is what he's strong at. So there we go, that's been the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a big thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and if you're enjoying the football content and me, don't forget to subscribe and put your push notifications on. You can check out my social media links, my Twitter and Instagram in the description below. If you want to hit me with any business enquiries or any sponsorships or any videos, then my email's also in the description below if you want to hit me up on my email. Don't forget to go and check out my second channel, Jason Sidlow Travelman, along with my brother's partner channel, Mixid, doing mixology drinks. You can go and check them out. Like and subscribe over there, like and subscribe over here. Don't forget to share this video, help my channel grow. I did a vlog from yesterday's game, this game with Southampton. I'm going to leave the link to that at the end of the video if you want to go and check out my vlog from that game. And I'll see you all again for the preview tomorrow for Shakhtar Donetsk. We've got so many videos coming up, it's unreal, so stay tuned for that one. So it's been JSGC. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace. Ciao for now.